Can we actually turn back the clock on aging? I mean, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But a really fascinating new study suggests it might not be. Today, we're going to break down an experiment that put diet and lifestyle to the ultimate test to see if you can really, truly reverse your age. Okay, so first things first. To even understand how this is possible, we need to get our heads around a crucial concept. You don't just have one age. You actually have two. And one of them matters way more than the number of candles on your birthday cake. Exactly. We all know how many years we've been on the planet. But there's this other age, your health age, that really tells the story of how well your body is doing on the inside on a cellular level. And this lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got your chronological age. That's a one-way street. It just keeps ticking up no matter what you do. But on the right, you have your biological age. And that's a measure of your body's actual health. As we're about to see, that number, well, that one isn't set in stone at all. And why does this even matter? Well, it's huge. Aging is the #1 risk factor for almost every chronic disease out there. The source material for this explainer points out that if we could extend our collective health span, that's our years of good health, by just a single year, the economic savings could be around $38 trillion. So the stakes here are absolutely massive. All right, so that brings us to this really cool study that put this whole idea to the test. Researchers set up an 8-week program to see if a very targeted diet and lifestyle plan could actually measurably lower the biological age of a small group of women. The setup was pretty simple. 6 women, all in middle age, signed up. And for just 8 weeks, they committed to this pretty intensive program to see if they could make a real, measurable difference inside their own cells. And what they did was build this program on 4 key pillars. It wasn't just a diet or just an exercise plan. It was the whole package. It combined a very specific diet designed to support their genes, daily exercise, a focus on quality sleep, and even stress management. The idea was that all these things would work together. So, after 8 weeks of this focused effort, what happened? Let's dig into the results because this is where it gets really interesting. This is the big question, right? After all that work, did this combo of diet, exercise, sleep, and stress reduction actually move the needle on their biological age? Oh, yes. A big yes. Get this. In just 8 weeks, these women reversed their biological age by an average of 4.6 years. That's almost a 5-year rollback on their internal clock. Incredible. And this wasn't some fluke. As the data here shows, the drop from an average biological age of almost 56 down to just over 51 was statistically significant. Now, in the world of science, that's a huge deal. It means the result is highly unlikely to be just random chance. And when you zoom in on the individual results, it gets even more dramatic. 5 of the 6 women saw a reduction. But look at participant 1. Wow. She reversed her biological age by an incredible 11 years, going from about 57 all the way down to 46. And here's a really interesting, though kind of sad, side note from a similar study mentioned in the source material. A male participant in a pilot program had to drop out because of a huge family emergency. His biological age? It actually went up by 4 years in that same time frame. It's just a powerful reminder of how something like acute stress can push the clock in the completely wrong direction. Okay, so how on earth is this even possible? How can things like the food you eat and how much you sleep literally talk to your genes and tell them to act younger? Well, it all comes down to a process called DNA methylation. It's a huge part of the science of epigenetics. The easiest way to think about it is this. Your DNA is your body's hardware. It's fixed. But methylation, that's the software. It places these tiny chemical tags on your genes that tell them whether to turn on or to stay quiet. These tags change throughout our lives, and they're exactly how scientists measure our biological age. So the program worked by focusing on what the researchers call epinutrients. These are basically specific compounds you find in food, things like folate, vitamins, and all those amazing polyphenols in plants that directly influence those DNA methylation patterns. They're like giving your body the right tools to run those positive software updates. And we're not talking about some weird, exotic supplements here. The diet was packed with powerful, everyday foods. The participants were guided to eat cups of dark leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables, plus things like beets, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds every single day. You know what's really encouraging about this? They didn't have to be perfect to see these incredible results. Their average adherence was about 82%,
And get this, they did it during the holiday season, which is not an easy time to stick to any new plan. It just goes to show you don't need to be perfect to make a real difference. So, what should we take away from all this? Let's step back and put these really exciting, but definitely early findings into the right perspective.
The study's authors themselves concluded that this suggests a powerful new way forward. It shows that accessible, affordable tools, like the food we eat and our daily habits, have the potential to impact not just our lifespan, but more importantly, our health span. But, and this is super important, we have to be scientifically responsible here. The authors are the first to point out the limitations. This was a very, very small study, just 6 women. There was no control group to compare them against, and they used an older method for measuring biological age. So while we definitely need a lot more research, this small but mighty study leaves us with a really powerful final thought. It raises this tantalizing question: just how much control do we really have over how we age? And the answer just might be a whole lot more than we ever imagined.